Mr. Davis, did you look at the proposal I sent for the new software I'm recommending?
I did, and I have the perfect place for it.
Let that sink in.
I'm Vaughn, and welcome to Let That Sink In, where the goal, as always, is to give you career and professional development tips. Well, the saga continues. In our last video, we introduced two types of difficult managers employees are likely to encounter in the world of work. And my condolences to those of you who currently have to deal with those managers. To show my sympathy, I'm going to take a moment to guide you through an activity designed to help you cope. First, put on some pleasant music. Then fill the space with a scent you like, your favorite cologne or air freshener, curry goat or oxtail gravy, something like that. Don't judge me. Center yourself and channel inner peace for a moment. Get a mental picture of your boss and repeat after me. Hey, dirty wicked Janko, I want you to love me, you know. I know nothing to make them cut off my light and my water and make them bail me things so I can go live up a hillside like Chronic Law, you know. I just true. I know want my granny ear so I go up in a jeep back. It go aggravate her sick foot. Let me, hey, I true you not know, you know. I true you not know. Now the next time your boss gets on your nerves, you're going to think of this moment and it's going to make you feel better. You're welcome. I accept payment in YouTube shares and Pastry Passion gift cards. Now onto the substance of today's video. Two more difficult managers you're likely to encounter in the world of work. First up, this is the boss who is about 10 or 15 years past their prime and has no interest in evolving or adapting to meet the needs of the modern workplace. If the company were to ever close down, this boss would hit retirement faster than Jamaican criminals can escape into nearby bushes. And that's because for this boss, it's easier to just keep meeting the targets of their department in exactly the same way they've been doing for decades, rather than pushing the boundaries and trying new things. Even when the company's policies and values shift to meet the new demands and new trends in the marketplace, the Dinosaur holds on to the old way of doing things tighter than Jamaicans hold on to their visa application documents in line at the US Embassy. Why? Think of it this way. Imagine if you had to re-enter the dating pool after being in a committed relationship with someone for 20 odd years. Imagine having to do over those get-to-know-you questions like, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? Why are you suddenly single at 45? What's wrong with you? What kind of crosses you gonna bring in my life? Blah, 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 stuff like that. Personally, I'd rather be tied up and forced to listen to a public lecture by L.A. Lewis than have to go through that. And for the Dinosaur, it's the same. Having to unlearn and relearn new stuff after spending decades of doing things in the same way sounds painful. The Dinosaur will avoid suggestions and recommendations about modernizing the company the same way we'd avoid certain relatives when we're planning a trip to foreign. For the last time, Auntie Marine, my suitcase full fit through. I can't even take prayers. Making a suggestion to the Dinosaur basically works out like this.
Mr. Davis, did you look at the proposal I sent for the new software I'm recommending?
No, you know, but it is on my priority list and I will definitely get to it. By the way, did you send that fax like I asked you to?
Mr. Davis, did you look at the proposal I sent for the new software I'm recommending?
I did, and I have the perfect place for it.
Let that sink in.
Since the Dinosaur won't willingly enter the 21st century, you have to find ways to motivate them to do so. The first way is to use the Godfather approach. That is, make them an offer they can't refuse. Take some time to put together a presentation or a proposal which shows why a particular idea or software or some change is going to benefit the company in a meaningful and tangible way. And when you present it to your boss, your goal is to channel your inner downtown arcade vendor and try to sell it like a Jamaican man trying to convince his American girlfriend that he's really marrying her because he loves her and not because he really wants that green card. It could happen. So cynical. The fact of the matter is a good idea is a good idea, and bosses who are serious about success will listen and adopt it. If after making a strong pitch or presentation and your boss still isn't interested in moving forward or taking your ideas on board, it's time to go over their head and talk to their boss or someone who is capable of influencing your boss's decisions. Get your ideas in front of the right decision makers, and hopefully you should be able to see some tangible progress. I should mention though that getting your idea in front of a receptive boss isn't always a recipe for success. It's possible that there are factors affecting the company that make your idea not so doable right now. But the key is to know what gets your boss's attention so that you will be able to make a successful presentation in the future. Now for our next difficult boss. This is the boss who was installed in a position because of seniority or because they're really tight with senior management. The person might know how to do their job, but not how to motivate a team to achieve a common objective. Rather than leaning into the idea of leadership and doing the necessary work to elevate their capacity to lead, the anti-leader takes a hands-off approach and pretty much leaves you to yourself to figure things out. The anti-leader makes no real effort to learn the individual roles and functions of each team member, and as a result, employees feel pretty much lost at sea whenever they're faced with a problem or issue they have to deal with. The anti-leader basically wings their way through each day, making decisions that often negatively impact daily operations and leave employees to basically mop up the mess.
Excuse me, Mr. Davis, I have a formal complaint I'd like to
Whoa,
make.
whoa! What's with these words formal and complaint? Those words usually mean paperwork and meetings, things that usually make things really difficult in a department. And I'm sure you don't want to be the person that makes things difficult in the department, right? You know what? You need to just go home and think about it and come tomorrow we'll talk about it, alright? Oh, and by the way, I'm not going to be here tomorrow or any other day that you're going to be having this problem. Okay? Good talk.
Let that sink in.
First, practice empathy and try to understand things from your boss's point of view. It could be that your boss is actually busier than you think and is struggling to cope with the managerial position that they're in. The truth is, leadership is not for everyone, and maybe your boss is one of those people. And being in this position has painted your boss into an unfamiliar corner that he or she does not know how to cope with. And what's worse, your boss probably doesn't know that he or she doesn't know how to cope. So a little empathy can go a long way. Second, examine your part in the relationship between you and your boss. Are you being the best employee you could possibly be? Are you doing your best to support your manager? If not, it may be time to make some adjustments to your own behavior. And third, take the opportunity to step up so your boss isn't giving you any direction or advice. Seize the opportunity to make a strong impression with your ability to be self-motivated and solve problems on your own. Trust me, you will win a lot of supporters with a can-do attitude and a willingness to turn lemons into lemonade. Now, what you're not going to do is turn your mind against your boss. That doesn't help at all. Feels really good, not gonna lie, it feels really good for doing your boss, but it really is not helpful. As they say, wishing bad for somebody is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Focus instead on being solutions oriented. When you spend more time focused on solving problems, you won't have time to stress over what's not going right. And importantly, know when it's time to move on and get help from other sources to help you get your job done. If your boss isn't helping, is there someone else who can? Find that person and get the help you need. Now, when all else fails and you simply don't think you're going to make it out of this situation with your sanity intact, that's when it's time to pack your bags and move it along. Go be great somewhere else. But in your exit interview, let them know exactly why you're leaving. It's not you, it's me. I have a challenge working with people who have the same relationship with their job description that L.A. Lewis has with sanity and objective reality. Hopefully, your honest review will change something for the employees who come after you. Good luck. Before we go though, I do have some honorable mention difficult bosses. And if you have experience dealing with one or more of these, feel free to drop some suggestions for dealing with them in the comments below. You never know, your tip might just be the one that stops somebody from tripping their boss accidentally on purpose as they're going down the staircase at work. First up, the cherry picker. This is the boss that cherry picks the tasks he or she wants to do, then farms out the rest to their employees. Next up, the favoritist. This boss doesn't hide the fact that a particular employee or employees are his or her favorite and goes out of their way to make sure those persons get as much benefits and perks as possible. And lastly, the credit hog. This is the boss that takes credit for the work of their employees because, it's about the team, not any one person. Alright guys, as usual, thanks so much for watching, and if you like the video, you know what to do. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and of course, click the notification bell so you can be updated whenever we drop new videos. And of course, stay tuned to the channel for more great content. I'm Vaughn, and this has been Let That Sink In. Take care, until next time.
Let that sink in.